We have successfully moved to the question 20. So let's see the first one. Find the number of students who participated in the first term science subject. So we have to mention, we have we need to consider the term, first term, and we need to consider this subject, science, and we need a number of students. So we need the count. We need a count. So how are we gonna do that? Find the number of students who participated in the first term uh, science, science subject. So, so you can see here the count query. This is a syntax. So column name, table name, condition. So the conditions are, you know what the conditions are, science and the first term. The table name would be what's the table name? Again, the mark record table, and the column name is the student's ID. Let's see what we have in this mark table, index number. So how we can do this? Let's copy the whole thing and let's paste it over here. So we'll copy and paste it over here, so we can understand what are we gonna do and make it as a comment. So here you can see select count. Count must be in uppercase. And the column name is student index number, and from is the next thing, and we have to mention the database name, exam marks DB, uh, table name, student exam mark record, and where the conditions are exam term ID is 1 because the first term, and we need to consider the subject ID, and is the science. In this case the science is true. So if we execute the query, we will get 8. It's obvious, there are 8 students, and all they have participated in first term, and all they have wrote the science exam. So find the number of students who participated in the first term science subject. But we don't have we shouldn't have to search the we shouldn't have to search by IDO, but we shouldn't have to search them by science IDs. We have to search them by term and science subject name. So in this case we had to write a subquery. So I have already uh, wrote a subquery for finding this term ID. So in this case first term ID is select this one. So I hope you guys understood, or I can rewrite it for you guys. So select from select term ID. We need the term I we need to get the search as a result. We need to get the term ID as a search result, and we have to mention the search database name. We are going to search it. Hold on, term ID, and from, and the database name exam term exam marks db, and dot is the term the table name exam term, where I'm gonna search the term name. So the term name is first term. So you know what I'm saying. So this is the search query for the first term. If I execute the query, we get the 1. So what I'm going to do here is copy the whole thing, and instead of writing a equal and after the number 1, the id value, I want to say in, and inside brackets I want to paste what we have got for the term id. So if we execute the query, we'll get the same result. And also here we need to get the subject id by searching the subject name. Let me get the subject so here subject is a table, and the result that we need is subject id, and we are looking for we are looking by subject name. The subject name is science. So let's see, we get the science id. So what I'm going to do here is copy the whole query, and after that what I'm going to do here is like remove the in the equal sign. Instead of putting an equal sign, I'm going to say in. Inside this what's that, brackets, yeah, brackets, paste the search query for science id, subject id. So this is the whole query for the number of students who have participated in the first term, participated in the science exam in the first term. So, hey, what's up guys, I am Ragujan. Now this is the question 20. We are on the question set 20, and on the second one. So you can see here the question, what is the minimum score obtained by the first term student? So so you can see here, this is the table, the student exam mark record. So we need the first term records, and we need the marks as well. So minimum score obtained by the first term, so we need the minimum score from the first term exam. So how we can write that query, how we can do that, so let's see the syntax real quick. This has to be the syntax. So um, select the minimum, the column name. So but before we had to, this is the way we had to find out is, first we had to figure out the columns. So we had to clear out the columns. So we need the we need the columns, sorry, we need the rows. We need the rows that only has the record as exam term as first term. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write a query to select from the database name, and the table name is student exam record, where the term is first term. So let me get the first term, the table name, exam term ID is the one we are looking for, and we have to say, is that number one? Yeah, number one. So if we write this code and if we execute, you'll get a result like this. You can see all other results are first term, but we don't need we shouldn't search the ID. We shouldn't get the result by searching an ID. So we have to get it as the term name. We have to get it as a term name. So we have to write a subquery. Easy, right? So in this case, when we write a subquery, uh, we have to remove this equal sign. Instead of writing equal sign, we have to write in, and after that, inside the bracket, we have to write subquery. So in this case, we're gonna search from the exam term table, and we are looking for the term ID. So I want to say the term name. So we have to get the term ID, sorry. So let's say the term ID is what we are looking for in this case. Term ID, let's get the term ID from here so we won't get any spelling mistakes, and select the term ID from the database name, exam massdb dot the database table, which table we are looking for, exam term, where the term name. So here I'm going to copy the term name and paste it over here, and after that I'm going to say which term I'm looking for. So I'm looking for the first term because I need the first term ID, and I'm going to paste it over here. If we execute the query, we'll get the same. Oh no, we have a slight issue. I guess this one, I don't know. Let's figure it out, you know. Yeah, so that is the query. So after that, now we need the uh, minimum score, right? That is the question, right? What the minimum score obtained by you. So here you can see the syntax, the minimum and the column name. So I'm going to say uh, let me get the, instead of writing this one, hold on, here we go, and we have to mention the column name. The column name is I guess this column name, bro, mark, I guess. Let's paste it and let's see what we get as a result. So 10.0 is the minimum score that has been scored in the first term. We can check it out If you're not sure, see here 75, 23.5. This one, I don't see anything lesser than this one. So yeah, we have finished the second one, I guess. So we can move on to the third one. So let's go. So here you can see the third one. Find the number of students who participated in the second term mathematics subject. So uh, the number of students and number of students and participated in the second term mathematics subject. So we had to search by the requirements are second term and the subject as mathematics. So if you write a query to get the row, to specifically get the rows, I'm gonna delete this. No, I'm not gonna delete this. I'm gonna say I want to save it as a comment. Maybe we can use it later. Who knows? So here you can see select for from and the database name as usual and the table name exam mark record. There are uh, subject ID. Let's copy and paste it so we won't get any stupid errors. Subject ID is equal to 1, I guess. And if we execute the query, we will get the subject. We will get all the result for subject 2. It is maths. And again I'm going to insert another requirement. It is the term, I guess. Let's see second term. So the term ID has to be the second one. Exam term ID. Second ID is 2. So now we can filter those results. So you can see this one is maths, subject ID is 2. So but we had to search by those names, not IDs. So inside we had to write subqueries. So I'm going to say in, and this is brackets. Inside this bracket I say select the subject, right? Subject table. I need the subject ID from database name is exam dot subject is the table name. So subject name, and we have to say where we need search the product by its name. So what's the name here? This attribute is subject name, and it is oh, it's mathematics, right? Mathematics is 1. So mathematics is 1. Sorry, I thought mathematics is 2. Science, the ID 2 is science. Okay, so we will get the same results, but in this case the ID, oh no, we ain't getting the same result. Why we aren't getting the same result? Because you can see here we get the same result, I guess. Yeah. And also you have to do the same thing to the term ID. I told you we can use it later, but I'm not going to show. I'm not going to copy and paste because this is a tutorial kind of video. So I'm gonna write it again because you know what it is. So we have to get this term ID from the term table, and we are looking the term ID by the term name. So the term name is which term we are looking for? Second term. So select we need the term ID. So hold on a minute. We need the term ID from the exam marks db dot exam term, and we are looking by the name. So term name is the one we're looking for, I guess, and it is second term. Let's copy and paste it over here. It's kind of easy, right? There's nothing much to worry. So we'll get the same result, I guess. Yeah, cool. So we need the number of students. So we need a count. I guess a count syntax, count query. Let's get the count query real quick. Here you can see so it is this one. So we need the column, we need to insert the column name and the count. So can be anything. So if we execute the query in the count, and it is 8, there are 8 students. So we finish the which one? Third one. So we can move on to the fourth one, and I'll see you in the fourth question. So the fourth one is which subject got the lowest uh, marks in the first term. So again this needs the minimum syntax. This query will be a minimum syntax. So in this case you need to mention the term and which subject. So which subject, you need the subject. So let's write the query. Again I'm gonna delete this I'm now gonna delete this previous query. We will it will be helpful in the for the future questions, advanced questions. You don't know, right? So in this case I'm gonna write select off from exam, the database name dot sorry about that, select from where the exam term ID is I guess it's 1. Yeah, because select off from here. Why we are getting an error? As you can see here, I have inserted this one. Now we will get the result. See, we get all the result for the first term. Uh, so but we need inside this we need to use a subquery because we are searching the term by its name, not by the ID. Again, I'm gonna write select the term name is what we're looking for. Sorry, the term ID is we're looking for. And from the term table, exam term table, there the term name is looking by the term name, looking for the term ID, so the term is by the first term. So then paste it over here, and if we write this, if we execute the query, we may get the error because you can see we have closed the bracket. Let's see. Yeah, he successfully executed the query. Now we need the subjects, right? No, we need the marks. So you can see which subject got the lowest mark in the first term, and we can say like this, minimum or the column name. So you can see here the minimum marks is 10.5. So 10.5 is which one? We only have 10.5, and this one has to be the science one. So how we gonna get that, and how we gonna get the science, the how we gonna get the subject name? We can use a subquery. So this will be a condition. So I'm gonna write a subquery. Now this will be the subquery. So I'm gonna put this inside a bracket, and now we will get the subject. So select which one we are looking for. The subject ID is what we are looking for. From the student, which one? Sub database name, and the mark record is table name. Where the will get the number 2 because number 2 is science. So but we need the subject, right? We don't need the which subject. They have mentioned the subject name. We don't need the subject ID in this case. So inside this, again, I'm gonna write a subquery, and this would be the query inside the brackets. So select uh, so in this case we need the student, sorry, the sub we are using the subject table for this thing. So we need the subject name. So I'm going to say select subject name from the table is subject, and we are going to say where, and we will say in, and we will get the science, and we got an error. And what can we do about that? Yeah, we haven't mentioned what we are looking for. No, we haven't mentioned the condition. So yeah, the subject ID is, now we will get the subject name. So it's a pretty much, it's also an easy query, nothing much. We can move on to the fifth one, and I'll see you in the fifth one. So we are on the fifth question. So fifth one, you can see here, find the name of the student who got the lowest mark in all the subjects in the first term. So whoever, so we don't have to worry about the subjects because the lowest mark is what matter, and we have to mention the term. In this case, the term will be first term. So I'm gonna say select. First of all, I'm gonna search by term. So select all from exam marks DB, where the record table, where we need the, hold on a minute, subject, sorry, the term, we need the term ID, we search by the term ID, and it is the first term. So if you execute the query, you will get a result for the first term, and in this case um, but before, you need to search the you need to search by term name, not term ID. So I'm going to write a subquery to get it right. So inside this, I'm going to say select all, sorry, select the term, I need the term ID. So maybe, yeah, from the term table, exam term, where the term name has to be the first term. So this is the one, first term. So now we would get the same answer because we captured the id by from term table. And after that we had to, you can simply say it like this: minimum marks mark. I'm gonna say, also I'm gonna mention the database table name and the attribute. After that I will mention the attribute. Let's see we will get any. Yeah, we got the minimum mark. So but we don't need the uh, we need the mark, but we have to find out which student. So only one student can have the least amount of this specific score that he have scored. Maybe there can be multiple, but so I'm gonna write another subquery. So in this case this would be the sub query, and so I'm gonna put this whole query inside a bracket. So we are going to search the, we need to search the student, I guess. We need the student table, sorry, we need the student details. So um, we need the student id to get the student details. So I need the student id, and we search this, we execute this query on the student, sorry, the record table. So we have to say that, have to mention the student table, the student, sorry, the record table where the mark is. So this student is, so the number 2, the id who got the id has number 2. So we got we in here we got the subject id, but we don't need the subject id, we need the student id. So I'm gonna replace, so in this case we will get the student's id. So the student id is this one. So after that we can get the student specific details by using this id. So for that I have to write another subquery. I want to insert the whole query inside a bracket, and now I want to say I need the whole details of the student from the student table. So do I need the whole data? Let's say what we have in the student table. We don't need the gender, contact, class id, we just need the first name and last name. So I only need the first name and last name. Select first name and the last name. Let's copy and paste the last name here from the exam and from the student table. Now the student id is sorry, the index number is equal to the query that we have wrote and the result that we get from this query. Now Kasun Rajamantri is the one who scored the lowest in the first term. So this student is the one who scored the lowest uh, mark in the first term. So yeah, we have successfully finished the question 5. We can move on to the question 21 after that.